Hi, and welcome back to another Creations with Christina episode. I wanted to try something a little different rather than a basic A2 fold card, and I was just kind of surfing online and came across the diamond fold card, so I thought I'd do a quick tutorial today to show you how to do the card. I'm not going to show you how to create a card from start to finish, but basically the folds and the cuts for the different layers for this. But this is the card I just did, and I put this together using some My Mind's Eye 6x6 paper, and I don't remember which pad it was from, but I'll have a link to all of the supplies I used on my blog as well as pictures of my finished card. So anyway, I used 6x6 pattern paper, and I used two types of pattern paper, and like I said, it's both from the same paper collection. And then my stamped image is a CC Designs stamp, and it's the Heidi Among the Flowers stamp set. And then I also used some vellum to stamp my happy birthday sentiment, and then just used buttons to hide my glue dots, which I used to adhere down my sentiment. And then I also used some glossy accents for her boots in the center of the flowers. And then I also added two little pearls to her hair where her ponytail is. So let me show you how to put or do the folds for this card. You're going to need a 4-inch by 12-inch piece of cardstock and something to score with. And you're first going to score your lines at 2 inches, 4 inches, 8 inches, and 10 inches. So 2, 4, 8, and 10 inches. And then the next thing you want to do is just take a pencil and mark your 6-inch mark. Just a little mark on each end. You want to do one on the top and one on the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is start creating an X pattern in between my mark and my first score line. And I'm going to do that on both sides. So what I'm going to do is line up my tick mark here that I made with my pencil right on the 6-inch score line, and then take my first score line and line that up on the 6-inch. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a score line. And then I'll turn it and do the same thing on this side, lining up my pencil mark and my first score line on the 6-inch mark. And then I'll turn my paper, and then using the bottom score line, I'll do the same thing. I'll line my pencil mark and my first score line on the 6-inch mark. And I only use the 6-inch marks because I know that I have a double line right here, and I could look down the bottom. I could look right down the bottom here for those double lines and know I have to go one over. So I'll do the same thing on this side, lining up my pencil mark right here and my first scoring line right down the bottom. Okay, so I did my scores, and what I did was I also did this on a piece of paper just so you could see what it's going to look like. So you have your 2, 4, 8, and 10 inch, and then you have your X marks the spot kind of thing there. So let me show you how to fold this. First thing you're going to do is face up. You're going to fold your two ends in. And I'll use my bone folder for my score pal just to create my nice score lines. And then I'm going to turn it over and do my other scores. So I'm going to first do my 4-inch mark, and then my 8-inch, and then I'm going to start folding on the diagonals. So I have one that way, maybe another one this way. And now I'll do the other side. Okay, and then what we're going to do is flip it back over so you're face up. Your pad. I'm using a texture cardstock, so my texture is facing up. And right in the center where these two diagonals meet and your score lines meet, you're just going to go ahead and start pinching them together, and you're going to start forming your diamond. And then just going like this. And I'll just use my bone folder to make sure I have a nice crease. And that's what creates your fold. So let me just show you that one more time. I'm going to take my 2 marks right here and pinch them in and bring my diamond in. And while I'm doing that, I'm folding in my flaps. So it'll look just like that. So that's what creates your fold. So let me get this out of the way. And now I'm going to show you how I did the side panels in the center. First thing I have is 2 pieces of pattern paper. And these measure, and I wrote on the back of them so I remember what they are. 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. And those get adhered right to the 2 side panels. So I'm just going to use my ATG gun to do that. And I'll just put them right in the side. Got one panel there, and then I'll do my other panel. Just like that. And now for my center, this is going to be a 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch piece, and that'll go right in the center. And then don't forget to erase your pencil lines there. Get those out of there. And now for the center part here. We're going to have to cut these into different sections because we have our fold lines. You could leave them just blank if you want to. But I'm going to cut actually to fit these areas. So I have 2 pieces of pattern paper. And these measure 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. They both measure 3 3/4. And I'm going to use my paper trimmer as soon as I locate it. And what I'm going to do is start cutting these into triangles. So I'm going to take my 1 piece and I'm going to match up the corner and cut from corner to corner. So we end up with 2 triangles. And then I'm going to put this in, and let me move this down so you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the flat part up against the top so I know it's flush, and then the point is right on my cut line. So that created 2 more triangles, and those will fit perfectly right into these 2 sections. We have one here and one here. So I'm going to take my other half of my square and I'm going to cut that in half into a triangle. So again, I'm putting the flat side right up against the top of my trimmer and the point of my triangle right into the cut line, just like that. And then I'm going to cut these again, doing the same thing, putting the flat side up and my point on the cut line. And that'll create your 2 pieces for each of the sections. Let me get this piece off here. For each of these sections. Okay, so I have one more piece here. I'm going to do the same thing. Lining that up, doing my cut lines, and those will go on my card. And then I'm going to take my other piece, my second piece, and do the same thing. I'm going to start by cutting that in half into a triangle. And then taking my triangle, putting it flush, the flat end flush, and my point on the cut, cutting that in half, and then doing that again. And then I just need one more section for that. And that should do it. So you'll end up with a half of a square left. And then we'll go ahead and adhere those down. So each of these will go into each section of the triangle, and it won't, using them in different pieces won't interrupt your folds. So I'm just going to put a little adhesive quickly on each one just to get them so they're stuck down. So we have that one right there. Okay, so I just threw this together really quick just to show you what each of the pieces look like. So let's fold this up. So this is what it looks like, and I didn't glue everything down perfectly straight. Like this one right here is really crooked. So anyway, that's how to do the diamond fold card. Of course, I'm folding it wrong now. So it'll look like that. And again, there's my finished card that I just got done doing. And I'll have pictures and links over on my blog, and it's www.creationswithchristina.com. So if you want to see the supplies I used to make this card. Thanks for watching. See you next time.